Hey there, everybody. I really hope that you can hear me and see me okay. I'm playing around with some different video tools. Wow, I can really see the bags under my eyes. um, I apologize that you can see the icons on my video camera. I honestly have no idea how to turn them off. So for right now, they're going to be there. Anyway, today I wanted to teach you guys a little bit about spell writing and casting. And this comes from a workshop that I wrote and have been teaching for several years now. My Patreon, my patrons over at Patreon have gotten well, it was a PowerPoint presentation. Now it's a Google Slides presentation. But I decided that the video teaching I would release on my YouTube for anyone to watch. I will show you real quick. This is what we're doing. Some spell writing and casting. There we go. Alright, so we're going to start with some of the goals of the workshop, and I cannot get over these bags under my eyes. Alright, so some of the goals of this workshop include being able to discuss what magic and spells are, list and comprehend at least 10 different types of spell, have an understanding of the vital components of a spell, understand spell materials, their associations, and how to incorporate them, know and understand the steps of writing your own spell, use proper etiquette while using someone else's work, incorporating deities into spell work, practice within the realms of ethical behavior, understand how to raise energy for spell work, know how to ground yourself, grasp timing of spells, so I'm talking about moon phase, day of the week, astrological sign, like transit, things like that. Resources and determining whether or not they are credible. This is a big thing that I like to touch on in pretty much all of my classes. And then also things to consider and research when conducting a full ritual versus a simple spell. So I love that the first slide of this presentation, it it talks about what magic is, and there are many different interpretations. I'm laughing because I think there is a Star Wars reference in the next, I think it's the next slide. Anyway, so what I normally call magic, it's the act of tapping into the web of energy to make some sort of, to influence something to happen or to not happen. It's when we tap into the multiverse and weave into existence, that which we want, our intent. And here I also on this slide have a quote from a guy named Jim Butcher, and it says, "Magic comes from what is inside of you. It is a part of you. You can't weave together a spell that you don't believe in." And I really like that, because you really do have to believe in what you're doing. You can't go into a spell, thinking about what you're going to do later, or, something completely different. You really have to be committed to what you're weaving into existence. And you have to believe in it. I did change it. Okay, so anyway, when I talk about the multiverse web, or I guess other people would just say, the universe. I like to say multiverse because I'm a very accomplished, I guess, like astral traveler and beyond the hedge traveler, and I've seen too much to believe in universe anymore. So when I say multiverse web, I'm talking about the universal energy that connects everything and everyone. It's it's the force, basically. It connects all of us, it moves it through us, it makes us up, it's everything. So, when you are casting a spell, you are, like I said, tapping into that universal or multiversal energy to make change. So what is a spell? Spells are methods of magic to bring change and some kind of different methods, of some kind, using different methods and supplies. So there are lots of different types of spells out there, different ways to cast spells, and all sorts of things depending on the culture or your tradition or your path or whatever you want to use. There are so many different ways. Spells are types of magic that can vary depending on purpose and intent. So their, purpose. You could say, okay, I'm doing this spell to protect myself or to protect someone else. Supplies, you can work with things like the ocean, water. We're going to go into depth. Go into this in depth in a minute. And spirits, so like deities, elementals, working with other entities. Spells can be simple. It can be as simple as saying a prayer. It really, a prayer is to me is a spell, because you are putting your intent, you are talking to that multiversal energy, you're talking to that diamond that is the divine, that has all these different facets and faces and names, and you're asking or telling, hopefully you're being respectful, but asking for things that you want. And then they can also be complex. You can go ahead and burn incense and burn 1,000,000 candles and, time it down to the moon phase and the day and the planetary hour. You can go real nuts with it. You can have singing, and you can involve graveyard dirt or some other type of dirt depending on the intent of the spell. Blood magic. So you can get really, really, really complicated. And you can use different tools. You can use athames and wands and all sorts of stuff. Or, like I said, you can say a prayer that you are very invested in. Oh, here we go. I did leave the Star Wars reference in here. It's on this slide. So what is energy? And I said the Force. No, really, let me explain. Energy is what we are made of at our very core. If nothing else, we are all energy. Energy connects all of us, and it interacts. It vibrates at different frequencies. Higher is generally positive and divine and what you really want, whereas the lower, like muddied frequencies, you really want to work towards transmuting them into higher frequencies. But when you are dealing with these lower frequencies, I think it's a very special opportunity for growth there, for healing and for growth. So, this goes back to the whole yin and yang concept. You can't have all yang, all goodness and all light and all everything that yang is without yin. You have to have yin too. They are with each other no matter what. And that is one reason why after years of therapy, I finally started to believe in that saying that every cloud has a silver lining. I used to think that was a bunch of BS. And I would get real angry about it when a therapist or anybody would bring it up. I'd be like, you don't know what darkness I've been through. You have no idea. You have no idea. But then I started to realize after a very moving experience happened to me in one of the hospitalizations I had. It really showed me that it's true. Every single dark cloud, no matter how monstrous, no matter how dark and scary and terrifying and destructive it is, has a silver lining. And so that goes back to yin and yang. Where there is yin, there is yang. Where there is yang, there is yin. They have to be with each other. I went off on a tangent down a little rabbit hole. I apologize. I do that a lot. I have ADHD, among other things. Anyway, so more on what is energy. Energy is one of the vital components of spellwork or magic, and you must have clear intent. You must know clearly and be able to define, with clarity what you intend to do, what you want. Preparation, yes, there are times where you might need to do a spell with less time to prepare, but if you do have time to prepare, really invest yourself in that, because I really do, I've noticed from my own practice at least, that when I really put myself into every single every single part of the process of casting a spell, down to the preparation, that it's a lot more effective. Also, focus and concentration of energy. So that goes back to while you're actually casting the spell, don't be thinking about, this argument you had with so and so in the morning, or oh shiza, I gotta walk the dog. You really need to be present. You need to be mindful and present and conscious with what you are doing. This thing doesn't want to go to the next slide. Come on. There we go. All right, so types of spells. Obviously, I am not going to be giving you a complete, perfect list of every type of spell that is out there, because there are tons of types of magic that I have either never heard of or never have practiced. I don't know everything, and I never will claim to know everything. But some, my little disclaimer, some of the most common are elemental and wood or tree, plant, herb, or green magic, types of spells or magic, whatnot. Oils, candles, incense, poppets, different types of dolls, gemstones and crystals. Come on. Dirt, sand, cord and knots, blood, sex magic, sex spells, hair, moon, sun. I mean, really, it's anything you can really imagine. Planetary or other celestial body. You can work with color, talismans and amulets, symbols or sigils, weather or storm magic, which is one of my faves, banishings and bindings, which are two very different things. And actually, I wonder if I can go back. Sweet. Okay. So banishing is where you are pushing something away from you. You are, nope, I don't want this. I'm pushing this away from me. Be gone with you. That is banishing. Whereas binding is attaching something to someone or something. And generally it is used, not all the time, but generally it is used to harm. But it, like I said, not always. Not always. And there's a lot, that's a very controversial topic right there. I'll just say that much right now. Come on, why won't you go to the next slide? There we go. Spells based on intent or aim. So I just put a few on here. Love, healing, fertility, to help you concentrate while you're studying. Find a lost object. You can do deity work, so you can write your own spell to bond with one of your deities, or do it to communicate with them or honor them. Ancestor work, honoring and remembering them, or asking them for support, asking them for ancestral knowledge and healing and guidance. Alright, so we pretty much already went over this. The vital components of spell work is clear intent, preparation. Even if you only have a few minutes, just make sure that you're kind of gathering yourself and gathering everything that you want to use. And then focus and concentration of that energy. I really broke this down. So clear intent. Honestly, if you don't know what you want to do for a spell, don't just do a spell. And that's just my school of thought. That's not, I don't think that's everybody's school of thought, but that's my school of thought. Brainstorm and clearly be able to write out in a sentence what it is that you want. And then ethical behavior. Really seriously think about it from all angles, from all perspectives, not just yours. Will what you're doing harm someone? And is that harm worth it? Is that harm, are you looking to help bring a killer to justice? Or are you looking to get back at someone for cheating on you? Do you really want to rack up bad karma for something that is, it's better to come to terms with the fact that something happened validate your feelings, validate your pain, and, you know, get the support you need to deal with it and process it. And then, you know, forgiveness isn't for them. Forgiveness is for you. It's you saying, hey, I'm refusing to let this control me any longer. So I'm going to let this go. I really went off on a tangent again with that, but like, please seriously consider, you know, will this magic be hurting someone? And then, like I said yet again, is it going to be helping like put a killer behind bars, or is it to get back at somebody, or just you don't like somebody and you want to hex them? Like, come on, that ain't worth jail time. That ain't worth karmic debt. So with preparation, start researching, read different books. I have a ton of books over here. I like to pull out like my crystal book. I actually have here we go, show you this real quick. It's Llewellyn's complete book of correspondences. This book's pretty awesome as far as I can tell. I haven't found anything too problematic. I don't think I've found anything problematic with it. No, I have found some things that I do have some gripes about. But for the most part, it's a really great book because it gives you the correspondences of like pretty much everything you can think of, from the plant kingdom to the mineral kingdom, you know, gemstones, to my eye is twitching. Animal kingdom, deities, astrological signs. There's a lot in here, and I really like it. So this is a great book to have. I will put this in the link, or in the description, excuse me. So go through and read things like that and be like, all right, okay, well my intent is this, and it says that these gemstones are good for this intent. Sweet, I have these. I have 2 of these. Okay, so I'm going to use those 2 in my spell. So research, gather your supplies, and set up. So now we're on to focus and concentration of energy. If you can at all, physically clean your space, and then energetically clean it. I no longer use white sage, as that is, now I'm informed that is a closed practice, and I have no business with that. And I personally believe that if it's a closed practice and I'm not one of those people, I have no right to use it. So I have stopped using white sage completely. I use Palo Santo, and I admit I need to do some research and see if that is appropriate for me to be using. And if not, I actually have just created my first cleansing spray. I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to show you guys, because it comes in, like, I made it, and it's in a beautiful, looks like perfume bottle. It's gorgeous, and it's all black. Oh, I love it. Anyway, so clean your space physically. That kind of goes into feng shui, and I got some feng shui books over here. I love feng shui. I personally have noticed that magic is a lot more powerful when your space is not cluttered and dirty and messy, because that breeds chaotic energy. Sometimes you want chaotic energy, but other times you don't. Remove distractions if possible. You know, for me, I have a Great Dane who likes to bark very loud, and she's actually laying right by my feet right now. So I did not remove all distractions when making this video. Grounding yourself before starting. If anyone else is going to be working with you, if they don't know how to ground, walk them through it and help them ground. Leave ego behind and let spirit flow. So ego, one of my favorite ways to describe ego is to call it monkey mind, because it really is your monkey mind, and it is filled with all sorts of cognitive traps and negativity, and I can't do this, or I suck, or this or that. Don't listen to that BS. Like, let it go. Let your spirit guide you. And then pull chi or energy from the outside of yourself. Circulate and build your own energy and concentrate it into your work. I am a Reiki student. I actually just received my second attunement today. So all I'm really going to say is, like, I love that I wrote this workshop before I ever started studying Reiki. and that I was already doing some of the fundamentals of Reiki while teaching this workshop. But yes, pull energy in through your crown chakra into your body, and then you can use that to you can be a conduit for that energy, and then in spell work you're channeling that energy into what you want to see happen. I don't know if that was my cat or what. Okay, so items that can be used in spell work. So many things. I'm going to say this fast because there's a ton, and this is, again, not a comprehensive, like, oh, hell yeah, this had, ooh, YouTube, I swore. Sorry. Oh, man, I was doing so good, too. I was trying not to. Anyway, this is by far not a complete list, but I tried to give you a ton. So seashells, body fluids, and hair. And yes, I do say bodily fluids, not just blood or spit. Teeth, bones, and more bodily parts. Ribbon and string, dolls and poppets, animals or like tokens of animals. So like I like to have horse pictures, and I like to have my Great Dane around when I'm working. And my cat always invites herself. She is great. Candles, oils, incense, herbs and plants, minerals and gemstones and spices, tree branches, leaves, nuts, fruit, dirt and sand, water, boxes, bottles, baggies and pouches, an item from someone the spell is for, a picture of someone the spell relates to, incorporation of numbers, symbols and sigils, talismans and amulets. Truly the sky's the limit. So that's just some. So let's see. So how do item associations work? So items such as stones and herbs and oils and even color, they have different magical associations. So this means that that's like the energy that it vibrates with. And that means that you can use those things to help along your spell. So for example, herbs, plants, minerals, spices such as salt, sage, and use like I wish I could remember, like clary sage. Use like clary sage. Rosemary and black pepper are all great for spells with the intent to protect, cleanse, banish, and push away negative energies and or spirits. Another example would be oils that have, oils have therapeutic effects as well, and also magical properties. So, like a lot of the floral ones would be great for a love spell. All right, color associations. I'm so sorry, I have to show you this just because it's so pretty. There we go. Now, color is very subjective. Color is different to everybody. So I personally say go with your gut. If black to you is protection, use black for a protection spell. If black to you is evil for some reason, then just don't use it, because if you can't get past it up here, it's going to mess your spell up so bad. So honestly, even though there are like there are lists in this book that I have here and online that says, this color does these types of magic, these magics, and this color is for these types of magic. Again, if it doesn't work that way for you up here, then you have a problem. So use the colors that you personally feel are right for that spell. So you can also incorporate trees, plants, and herbs. And in my presentation that I give my patrons, I have a bunch of sources that they can pull from to actually look these things up. And like I said, this complete book of correspondences, it's pretty good. And you will find tree and plant and herb associations in there. So like, I'll give you an example. I have a yew wand from Ireland that I use with my ancestor work. It is you, like I said, and you correspond. One of its correspondences is ancestors, loved ones who have passed away. So I love to use my U wand for ancestor work. Oil and incense associations. Again, I have on the presentation different websites and books that you can go to look for the associations. Gemstones. All right, even seasons. Seasons have different associations. Moon phase. So I love working stuff on the full moon because the given is that the full moon is at her fullest power, her fullest illumination to our eye, and it is great for any type of magic. And it's also especially great time to cleanse and clear any of your tools, your gemstones, and even yourself and your house. The full moon's great for everything. The waning moon is really good for things like banishings. Maybe you're struggling with addiction, which I'm very open and honest about the fact that I struggle with addiction. I'm in recovery. And anytime I feel like I need an extra boost to help me stay strong in my sobriety and in my clean time, a waning moon is a great time to help me, further push those things away from me. It's a great time to break habits. The key really is to be pushing unwanted energies away from you. The new moon, so there are a few different things here. Think new, so like new beginnings, breathing new life into something, a new relationship, a new job, a new adventure. It's also a great time to work with your ancestors and to perform divination. The waxing moon is like the counterpart to the waning moon. So instead of pushing things away from you, instead of like yeeting things, you're yoinking things, I guess, pulling things towards you. So if you want to draw something towards you, you want to draw a new job towards you, if you want to draw a new relationship towards you. I just heard some noise from the kitchen okay, hopefully that was okay. Anyway, why is this not working? Oh, goodness. I apologize. For some reason, this thing is not going in the direction that I need it to go in. Alright, so somehow we ended up at element associations, but I think it skipped over dirt and sand. One thing I want to say is like dirt and sand are so awesome to use, and I love using them. I use dirt all the freaking time for money spells or abundance or for sorry, not fertility, but fortune. Go dig up some dirt from the parking lot at the bank. You might get some weird looks. You might even get some security coming out there asking you what you're doing. And I've always just said I'm doing this for spiritual or religious reasons, and they tend to leave me alone. But yeah, you can use dirt. The dirt located on hospital grounds is very, very strongly charged with healing energy. So if you're looking to do a healing spell, go get some dirt from the parking lot of your local hospital. All right, so I'm just going to quickly go over the steps to writing and casting a spell, because I just realized that I have been talking forever. So the first thing is to decide your intent and then to start researching. And that's when you're 2, brainstorming and planning. 3, actually write the spell out. 4, prepare and set your altar up, set your space up. 5, prepare the mind, body, and soul. 6, raise energy. And you can do this many different ways. Just a few that I could mention right now, like drumming, playing certain types of music, chanting. There's lots of different ways to do that. Then actually implement the spell, and then when you're done, ground yourself again, so you're not all up here afterward and you're like, ugh, why am I so tired later? Oh my god, this thing is not wanting to... Oh, wait, Okay. So sorry, guys. Hold on. All right, so now we are at using someone else's work. So it's a given. Don't plagiarize. Don't like use someone else's work and then be like, hey guys, I wrote this spell and blah, blah, blah. Please don't do that. It's totally fine if you're going to use someone else's spell if they're okay with it, but credit them. Don't be all like, hey, look what I did. When in doubt, ask for permission. Let's see. Incorporating deities, have offerings for them, be polite, be respectful, thank them for being there and adding to your work. Consider casting the spell on the day that they associate with. So like if you're working with Thor, work on a Thursday. Let's see, we already went over this. All right, here we go. So I have some things on raising energy. So again, drumming, chanting, dancing, singing, qigong. There's some I can't really say on here because they're adult. Meditation and opening the chakras and balancing them. Incorporating the use of stones, scents, oils, and herbs known for energy raising attributes. Different runes that associate with raising energy. You can Galder. You can read poems or prayers or other inspirational pieces associated with your intent that will, really like get you excited and into what you're doing. Grounding. If you don't know how to ground, my favorite way to go over grounding is to open your root chakra and draw a red energy tether down from your root chakra all the way to the core of the earth, and then wrap that sucker around the core of the earth and feel it pulse with Mother Earth's energy, and visualize it just really anchoring you solidly to the ground. And that's my favorite method. Let's see. Have like extra stuff on here for my patrons. Patrons. I don't know English. Alright, so timing of spell work. Like I said, you can, if you're working with Thor, do it on a Thursday. There's also Thor is also a protective god. So if you're working with Thor and you're working for protection, Thursday is your day. Moon phase, we already went over that. Timing of your spell, believe it or not, there are different attributes even down to the hour. So you can get that detailed if you want. Alright, so determining, if you should use a resource or not. Really check the credentials of the person writing the book or the website or whatever you're looking at. Please, 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 for the love of all the gods, if you are looking to practice like true Irish pagan, like rituals and rites and all that, please learn from actual Irish witches. Laura O'Brien is a great source. I'm learning from her right now. Because there is a difference between Irish and Irish American. So I am Irish American. I was born in here in America, sadly, and I still am here, even more sadly. So that makes me Irish American. I cannot, teach. Go for native sources is what I'm trying to say. Native sources that know what they're talking about, and Laura O'Brien is one of them. Let's see. Make sure it's current. That's not as important as it is in the science field. Let's see. Okay, so look for like organizations that you know are credible. So like Circle Sanctuary is my favorite to talk about. They're based over here in America. Selena Fox is the head high priestess, and she is amazing. I love her so much, and I'm such a huge fan of her. But they are a solid source. I know that whatever I read from them, I can trust. Be careful with blogs because anybody can publish a blog. Let's see. And that's it. That's the end of the presentation. Then I have a bunch of different resources and sources of the pictures that I used in the presentation. If you are interested in having access to the full teaching, the presentation, getting to keep a copy of the presentation, then head over to my Patreon and sign up as a student. This one is tier 3, no, 2, 3? 3 and above. So I believe $10 a month or more if you want to access teachings like this. So anyway, it was great having you guys, and I am so sorry that I went on forever. I'm just going to let you go now. Have a great day, and bye.